In our 30-year history, Faizan
So here we are uh, for what we expect to be another exciting game. Supreme All Stars versus Houston Outlaws. Our two commentators are myself, Lloyd Judah, and David Sentence. Some of you probably know us from hearing us on the Sony broadcast of American college cricket over the first USA Tapeball Championship. And already, SAS, that's the Supreme All Stars, is one wicket down for one run in the first over by Nasik K. A very exciting game just now, David. If you're looking for more excitement here, and that one is edged, doesn't get it away, and that'll be a dot ball. Nasik is the bowler. Zygum is the striker. You're fascinated by the events in the skies. And this one is a full toss, struck well, but it might not get to the boundary. But they're doing excellent running. They might have gotten 3 runs there, which is probably the first 3 runs. Yes, we'll be having the flag hoisting ceremony. That's what I'm told. And this one struck beautifully. That's 6 runs right to my left, just a few feet to my left. So 6 runs. Of course, had it come closer to me, I would have taken an amazing catch, David. Exactly. So no chance for anyone to see my dynamic athletic skills. Yes. Which is all as well because I don't know how much of those dynamic athletic skills I still have. So here comes biryani for us. We'll find a way to eat in between commentary. And the Supreme All Stars moves on to 10 very quickly, despite losing that wicket. And Arslan is the bowler now. So Daigum on 3, Sam on 6. And as we were mentioning, yes, it is Pakistan's Independence Day, and Tapeball cricket is very much Pakistani. And a dive-in keeper there couldn't stop that one. Man down on the boundary could have made a better attempt to stop that. Um, Seems to think that he was a soccer player, and instead of diving to stop the ball, he was trying to do it to his feet, and it went into the boundary. So 4 runs. Magnificent shot that went over just about to the same area that previous 6 was. And Zaigu moves on to 9. But it's where? Twenty-five. 36 for two. We're in the third over. Here it comes again. Will probably be bides. Diving keeper couldn't think about it. So, Texas Cricket Tapeball Championship. Sorry, first USA Tapeball Cricket Championship. Of course, more to come. Lots more. It'll only get better. Expect more interest, exciting games like we just had, where the game was decided on the last ball. Could have gone to either team, and really was decided on that final delivery. Ball there, batsman swung at it but couldn't get it. So that's Nasik. 16 runs, 1 wicket so far. 18 for Amir and Azam on the set. That'll probably be a wide signal. Yes, there is. And wide signal by umpire Jitu, who has done an amazing job over these past 2 nights. And we really appreciate the work he's done. It hasn't been an easy experience. And this one off the top edge. Will anybody get to it? No. 2 men chasing it down. They managed to stop it from going in the boundary, and there could be a run out there. Will there be? No. Nobody was there to pick up the throw in, and the batsmen themselves were confused, and hence the dicey situation. Here he comes once more, and nicely hit, but along the ground. And as we've seen with this tape ball, I don't think he's out. I think he was in. With this tape ball, you can't really get a ton of runs along the ground because the ball is a light ball. So any grass will hold it up significantly. So hence one reason for hitting the ball in the air and going for sixes. And here comes Nasik, right arm. Doesn't get that one away. Another dot ball for two. 4 to 6 for 2. So the run rate right now is 15.33, so pretty good. And of course, that can get better because they have the wickets and the remaining overs. But also, as we've seen, it can get worse because the bowlers can tighten up things or get wickets. 12.43 is the run rate right now. It is 7 for 4, 3 overs left. And they're going at a good clip. And, it's possible that they could put up a score here that can be difficult for the. Oh, a nice looking shot, and that'll be 6. They could put up a score that will give the Houston Outlaws a tough task, and the bowlers for SES something to aim at. So, here by Supreme All Stars. Adnan on 11, Arsalan on 2, and the top score 41. And this one is struck nicely, and they'll go with a forward, just forward of the man who is down here on the square leg boundary. And that's 4 more runs. You're watching the first USA Tapeball Championship, and your commentators are myself, Lloyd Judah, who is president also of American College Cricket. And we've had a lot of, over the years, a lot of Tapeball cricket being played on college campuses. As here is swings and misses that one. And David Sentence with me. David Sentence, of course, is an English autumn cricket historian. This one gets an edge and barely eludes being caught by the keeper who chases it down, but he'll get at least 2. And there's an attempted run out, but the batsman made it in. He grounded his bat. It's one of the things that really makes a difference, whether you ground your bat or not. If you're running with your bat in the air, not only do you enhance your chances of getting run out, but it also appears as though you did not make it, because the eyes sort of the umpire is looking to see that bat grounded, and that can make the difference between you being given run out or not. Grounding that bat is essential in all forms of cricket. And that one is struck nicely. And that's 6 runs. 6 runs. This one's into the offside. They'll get a single or 2. It's a drop catch, but the ball, when it's hit in the high in the air, we've seen not been easy to catch. Yeah. When I played, it was usually the sun that made you drop those catches. Yeah. It's always the sun. World cricket, yeah. World Series cricket, was it? Anyway, Packer, the man who started it. Kerry Packer, exactly. He did. Yes, he certainly helped enhance the pay, and ultimately, he was the forerunner of IPL. Basically, he did. It was very innovative, and we should acknowledge him more. But of course, since he was from outside of traditional cricket, outside of the ICC, I think most of the administration of cricket would prefer to forget him. Here comes the bowler, and this one is edged, and nothing will happen. No runs. And yeah, that's a pretty good background there of that phenomenon. And it's a wonderful phenomenon. It adds another element to the game that was lacking, and in other parts of the world, it's still lacking. But certainly, that's showing a way that the public can be more involved in the game from an entertainment perspective, even if not deeply, interested in sport. And this, of course, is great for the sport, brings more money into the sport. And here comes this S, and this one struck high in the air. Not only high in the air, but far off. So that's 6 runs there. Arslan, 9, Adnan, 104. We're in the ninth over. And this one is edged, not taken by the keeper. But three All Stars are, I would say, 135. Though, of course, with you can see in Tapeball, even much more than that is even more than that is possible. But I would hazard a could go get to 130, possibly 135. Does not edge that, even though there is an appeal, and the keeper did a juggling act and ultimately took it. Well, I was wrong. The umpire gave him out, so apparently he did get an edge. Must have been the thinnest of edges, because I didn't hear it. Did you, David? No. And we've often heard the edges down here, as far as we are. But anyway, yeah, it's possible we didn't hear it because it's so thin. That wicket, seeing a guy come in, after all, it's state ball cricket, and right off the bat, start striking the ball well and hitting sixes. Like that. So 6 runs, 120 now for 5. That's the man who hit the boundary. The 6, that's Kazar. Another good hit. Will it clear of the fielders? 126 for 5. So the 1 over to go, and at this rate, who knows how much they could add to that 126. But certainly we can expect, I would say, at least get into to the 135 I predicted, as my reputation is Astradamus continues to display itself. So Adnan strike, he's on 24. He hasn't had a bit. 14 degrees he's faced. Charm. That's swatted over mid. Well, it actually was going high enough to go over mid wicket, but there was a man on the boundary, and he seemed to be confident about taking it. But of course, in case it went through above his head, runs 132 for five. The runs, the run slot continues. Oh, that's a lovely shot. He swung around there, pirouetting, getting that down backward. And apparently there's chai and biryani. Of course, different turn shows up, and we've had some of that. That's it again, but there's a man down there. Will he be able to take the catch? He does. Very good catch right on the boundary. So excellent catch in there by that man down on the mid off boundary. Back a little lot. Have their play in that, and that's not going to happen. To the boundary. Swing and a miss. End of the over, 104 for 6. Adnan join us back in that inning. Well, here we are ready for the second part of this game, and Houston Outlaws' response to the SAS score of 143. We update that score for you guys. SAS Supreme All Star scored 6. Pretty innings of lots of great shots, really stepping it up towards the end. Outlaws. Oh wow, this is a pretty long run here. Let's look in action. This one struck down the wicket, and they'll get a single. So your commentators are Lloyd Joda, that's myself, and David Sentence. And we are in Wallace, Texas, outside of Houston, where the skies are wide and dark. But of course, we have lights here on these two fields, and what an athletic looking run up. And he hits this one straight down the wicket, but there are a couple of fielders down there on the boundary. And yeah, two fields here with lights. So it's great for any cricket, but in this case, it's Tapeball cricket, the first USA Tapeball Championship. And of course, it was 2009 March that we had the first American College Cricket Championship in Florida. And there is the other place in the US that there are lights. And so we were able to play on the lights even then. And this one is struck again down the wicket. These guys are hitting the ball on the ground, though, so it's hard for it to get to the boundary because it gives the fielders time to run around and stop it. So moving the scoring along slowly, though. And like I said, we're waiting for that score to be updated so you guys can see it as well as we can see it. Kind of fun watching this bowler run up as he comes running in. And here it is, boom. Goes for the big hit and just gets an edge. Yes, well, no, well, Womb, I think it's Womb Beard is. It's not exactly the genre of music that I'm a big fan of. So, very athletic, right? Very fast. Just comes steaming in. Good action, smooth. There's no chip or anything along the way. Really, kind of like the ideal fast bowler run up you want to see. Yes. So I'm searching for the bowler because he's all the way down by the boundary practically, and here he comes running in. Like I said, a very nice athletic run up. Oh, what a gorgeous shot, man! That was gorgeous, David. Yeah, the batsman is just waiting patiently. Yes, the batsman is there waiting patiently because the run up is long, and then calmly put it away. Yeah, he had definitely had the swivel there. This one is off the top edge. Will he be caught? A bit of juggling, yes, and that's it. And of course, our supporters, their logos are showing in the bottom left, as you can see. You're watching the first American, well, this is the first American, or you can say the first USA Table Championship. And this is in Wallace, Texas. These were the parts of the country that Sam Houston lived and did his thing, left enough of a legacy to get a city and many streets and highways named after him. We can only hope to leave somewhat of a legacy. This is a big hit. Will it get to the boundary? Will it get to the boundary? Did it? Could you see whether it got to the boundary there? Okay, so that's 6 runs. Um, Still waiting for this score to be rectified, and some pretty exciting shots. I had a hammer. That wasn't David Fallen, people. He, yes, he's safe. Yeah, you were. Huh? What was the point? So 14 for 2, we finally got that scorecard where we needed to be, and 20 for 2 now. So they're still updating 22 for 2. They're catching up. What must have happened is that they must have logged in, had issues logging in, so then they had to catch up. So good job catching up. It's Houston Outlaws score is now reflected. We hopefully 22 for 2 after 2 overs. 8 overs left. The required run rate at this point is 50.25, so that has climbed, and Houston Outlaws have their job cut out for them. So Sam Houston, an American that left his legacy and honored appropriately. Well, I'd be surprised if in those days you didn't. And there was no Facebook or so to spend your time on. Yeah. Here comes the man with a long fluid run up under edge. Which reminds me, well, let's watch this bowler come running up. It's a pleasure to watch his bowling. That one was dropped too short, bounce over the batsman way over. I would expect that was a no ball. John Wesley Hardin. Of course, I read about a lot of these guys, outlaws and otherwise, as a boy, and of course, you saw westerns which glorified them and so on. John Wesley Hardin. I wanted to name my nephew's dog John Wesley Hardin. And for some reason, his mother thought that wasn't a good name for a dog. She, yeah, even just his run up, he's putting a lot into it. It's fluid, it's smooth, it's a joy to watch, and then he gives it all when he delivers that ball. Yeah, fast bowlers put so much into the game, and they're such an exciting part of the game, and their body takes such a beating from that kind of run up and delivery. And such a fluid action. The batsman gets this one away. That's Rehman. Arslan is on 16 on the other end, and that's just a single. So this bowler is Anik, and he's giving us some fun here. Watch. No, at the end, well, in this case, it's 2 overs is your spell basically. But imagine if you were bowling 4 or more, it takes a lot out of you. And this one he gets an edge, but he'll be went down to the long leg, eluded the man who's what's somewhat in that area, and it's 4 runs to the total. So 30 for two, still well behind the tape ball or the 8 ball, and so is that your shorts, David? Okay. Today we dropped in a nearby store because David wanted to go swimming. Picked up some shorts, which are actually, uh, let's just say they're beyond description. Yes, and but he took the risk because there was nobody else around the pool, so he figured he could get away with it. Uh, David will continue the ball by ball for a bit. I have to see what's the problem with the other camera. That's what she said. And here comes Imran bowling. He's bowling to Abdulazim. Was the last delivery of that over. Imran taking 1 wicket for 16 runs. Of course, not to be confused with Imran Khan. And again, today is Pakistan Independence Day, and Tapeball is such a game of Pakistan. It's appropriate that we're going to do a ceremony, flag hoisting of the Pakistan flag to honor Pakistan Independence Day. So we want to wish all Pakistanis happy Independence Day. And of course, you're watching the first USA Tapeball Championship in Texas, playing in an part. That's part of the tradition of Tapeball, but also mainly to avoid the heat of the day. Now, I know you may be looking at the screen and seeing hot, as this one is struck nicely, but it's high in the air. Two men dash around to try to get to it, and they did not get to it. The batsman get two. But that HOT stands for Houston Outlaws. And Houston Outlaws are trying to chase down the 143 for sixth made by Supreme All Stars. They're going to have they are having a tough time of it. The required run rate at this point is 16.46. And the score is 48 for 3. With me on the commentary, I'm Lloyd, is David Sentence. David Sentence has written Cricket in America 1710 to 2001. He's written his second book, on which he expects to be published within the next few months. So look for that. But you can also grab first book, Cricket in America 1710 to 2001, off of Amazon or in many places. And that's bowled. So good ball there by Abrar, getting Arsalan, 31 off 14 delivery, David. Yeah, he had scored 31 out of the 48 by his team so far. Across on the other field, of course, there's a game going on. There have been games on two fields here. The Isa Cricket Club and Multi Sports Complex. So, full facility with floodlight, capable of hosting not just tape ball but hardball as well. So, expect this tournament here. And again. There was some sung defects by the non-striker. Yeah, went through to the wicket keeper, another dot ball. So the effect of losing a wicket, the new batsman is finding it hard to time the ball, get the ball on his bat. And it's Abra, medium pace. So, in your bowling, David, what kind of bowler have you been? Here he comes again, Abrar. This one, oh, pulled beautifully. Just a few feet from David. Uh, Now, pirouetting was something that I did very well as a batsman. Yes. Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I enjoyed that. I used to open more bat number three simply because I wanted to take on the fast bowlers. And it's funny that it didn't back in those days. There was zero protective equipment. I played with mostly as a boy, right? Not even pads. You were lucky if you got one pad and you put that on your left leg as a right-hander. No gloves. Once in a blue moon, you got one glove. You put it on your bottom hand. So it was a dangerous proposition facing the fast bowlers. But I loved to do it despite being, a bit scared because I could use their pace against them with cuts and flicks and that. It was my joy. Yeah, exactly. Here comes a bar. And 4 runs, didn't get a hold of it, just an edge. But the man down there dive in, not quite in a long, fine leg position, a bit closer to the wicket. Was not able to stop it. So 4 runs for Abdullah's um, scorecard updates, but I believe that's Abdullah's aim. Yeah, and that's what I would do. I'd either open or bat three because three is where all my heroes batted. Ron Kanai, Cal John Bradman, they all batted at three. So I would want to bat at three because of that. Or just to ensure I got batting, I would open. And that one stumps a gun. Good comeback there by him after being knocked around in his first over. And he gets a nice wicket there, bold. It's always a pleasure to see a stump cartwheeling or just being knocked out of his place. Right, David? You've known that feeling? Well, the funny thing was, and I don't know if I should reveal this to the wider world, but I was a batsman primarily. In those days, you didn't focus so much on being an all-rounder as people do now, right? Players do now. But I could bowl. I could bowl spin, but I didn't want to bowl spin. I wanted to bowl pace, and I had no pace. No, I had no pace. So it was a futile exercise, but I still would try. So ultimately, if you want to say, I was slow medium, and so I didn't get the pleasure of seeing stumps being knocked out too often. As a matter of fact, I have no memory of it that happening. Mind you, I'm not saying it never happened. Okay, I'm just saying I have no memory of it happening. But you know, I was known as a batsman and a pretty good one at that. Nancy, nice ball. Is that a caught? Yes, it is. Got that on or about the leg stump, and batsman went for a flick. As we've seen so many times, that flick can go for six over mid wicket, and he got an edge, and the wicket keeper took the catch. That's the main thing for the wicket keeper to hold on to that ball, and he did. So good breakthrough there. It puts Houston Outlaws further back on this on this race for the total 1-4. This would be their second. Can they want to reverse that? But it's a tough task at this point. 19.4 in hand. Correct. Imran C coming in, taking 3 wickets. So he turned things around and over. Being batted around for 19 runs in his first over, he's now taken 3 wickets. And so he's now having a spell that puts him in contention for a best bowler award. So here he comes. One flashing outside the off stump. That one bouncing really high and not getting a hold of it. Yeah, so primarily I was a batsman. However, the funny thing is, I bowled as a boy. I would take 2 batsmen to the nets early in the morning and bowl to them, basically because there was nobody else to do it. And those 2 batsmen went on to score centuries on their test debut. Alvin Kalitran and Leonard Bachin. Leonard Bachin did his in Pakistan, as a matter of fact. Well, he didn't play many tests, so no reason to, but his record is there for all time of scoring a century on his debut in tests. Nope. Nice looking shot. Just a single. There's man deep. So I enjoyed batting. Um, that was what I wanted to do. Yeah. So later on I was captain of school. I was captain. Correct. And my brother, I've told you that my older brother, the reason I got to play is because I organized the games and made myself captain. Right, but my brother insisted that that's the only reason I got to play. And I'm telling you that's a rumor that he started with no truth to it. Yeah, I deserved my place in the team, and I would have been selected as opener or number 3 in any case. No, I didn't play that much. I stopped competitive. I stopped playing probably about 8, 17. When I say stop, not fully, but not much from 17. And this one is struck down to long off. They'll get a single. They look for 2, but then opted not to, and now they do. Yes, I wouldn't say hero. I read his book and it was a great book. He wrote it, I mean, tremendously well. But there wasn't enough for him to be a hero. Somebody had to do. He put down his writing is tremendous. But that one book is Beyond the Boundary is just one of the best things you could read. Yeah, yeah. You can hardly find a better book. But yeah, you know what? I should go back and read that again because it's been decades since I read it. And Abrar comes in, and this one is swung away, and that's 6. The blue bag of balls, or the bag of balls. 73 for 6. Houston out 3.2 overs, 7-1, effectively 22.42. Abrar in the second over is 1 wicket for 70. Sick on 12. Umer of Majestic. It's down to mid on, long on, and he stops it with his feet and then retrieves it. So it will not be a boundary. Two. So it's once again, since it's summer in Texas, a warm night, and if you look up, all you see is darkness. But we have the floodlights to illuminate the cricket, which is fast and furious Tapeball cricket, and it's two matches going on at once, and just has a nice festive atmosphere to the area, together with the the tents and so on that Amir worked hard to put up. So it's a pretty sight, and we've enjoyed these 2 nights so far, with the final night being tomorrow. We're going to see a lot more. As a matter of fact, there could be another one within the next 6 months at some point. Certainly, it'll be winter. There should be one, so that people from the north who are not otherwise playing cricket in the north, so they can come down and have some Tapeball cricket fun. That can happen too, yeah, because we got inquiries from a couple of places, England, for example, and so that can happen. Yes, certainly. I'm sure after seeing this stream, there'll be teams from Pakistan that want to come.
I don't think many people realize your involvement in Tapeball cricket. I mean, it really started with the beginning of college cricket, or is that the
That is true, even though I've kept sort of a low key profile on that. The fact is, once I was investigating the state of cricket around the country prior to launching American college cricket, one of the things I found out was how much tennis ball and Tapeball cricket was being played on college campuses. Not in an organized fashion necessarily, just pick up games. But that's what they were doing because it's so much easier than to play hardball, and you didn't have to get equipment and so on.
less liability issues on campus?
You could play in a small space, exactly. So that was really the part of the beginning. As this one is struck, it really catch it. Oh yes, nice running catch there by the man just for the square leg, number 4, and that's another wicket gone by the Houston Outlaws. Yeah, pretty good effort running. And watching, finding out about that, it put the seeds in my head that at some point have table tournaments, tennis ball tournaments, because what that did, it had brought more people to the game or to be involved in the game. So whilst you might have 20 people interested in playing hardball, you could have 150 playing table ball or tennis ball.
Yeah. I noticed in Los Angeles, there's a lot of Tapeball is played on Wednesdays or during midweek. A lot of players come out of work and they play after work at 6 o'clock at night, and they play on baseball with the lights off.
Ah, okay.
So
That's interesting to know.
that way too.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you transfer that kind of flexibility to college campuses, there were many places they could play on the lights because you don't need the kind of space that hardball cricket needs. And you don't have to worry about the ball hitting somebody and doing serious damage. it can sting, but your damage will be
You're not going to.
far less than a hard ball.
Yeah.
So Amir and I talked about it over the years, and eventually it got done with Amir taking the lead and doing a lot of the hard work together with Issa here because he found that Issa had the facilities.
Yeah.
But it was my pleasure to be behind it and encourage and support in whatever way I could.
Well, proof is in the nine, so it's wonderful. It's very enjoyable, and I think it's a real expansion of opportunity for the game.
Yeah, absolutely, and
Bring
it.
a lot more varied people into it.
Yep.
And I know he's just talking of having baseball diamonds here, so you get a bit of a crossover community, crossover on some of the playing as well.
Well, you have to make the game a part of society.
Yes.
What we've done on college campuses, for instance, and it's one of the reasons I encourage and motivated my clubs to play on campus.
Yeah.
Even if you're playing on a hockey field with short side boundaries, it means your average student gets accustomed to seeing the game, even if they're not playing it.
Right.
So it becomes a part of their lives. As we see, and this one's dropped short, nice, good length there. And there'll be a run out here, even though he fumbles, and ultimately, no, if his throw had hit the stumps.
Yeah.
So 84 for 7, just 2 balls left, and it's 60 runs. Well, 11 balls left, and 60 runs needed. We can sort of safely say that Houston Outlaws
Are struggling.
have been, their effort has been arrested,
I would
and
say so. They're going back to jail, I think, in this case.
and barring a miracle, basically you can say they've been handcuffed.
Bowling is really handcuffed, I think.
Yes.
There have been a couple of nice sets.
Some snippets of beautiful shots.
That innings 30, 31 plus or thereabouts. He can't do it on his own.
Perhaps in the next game their batsmen could click. Their bowlers were doing a good job until towards the end that for SES they took it up another notch. But the batting for Houston Outlaws has not clicked as well as they would have liked.
Yeah.
And that's a running catch there by the man down a deep mid wicket. So the 8th wicket goes for Houston Outlaws, and that's 85 for 7 now.
The quality of batting has been pretty good overall this tournament. I mean, there's been some amazing shots.
Well, you see, that's what's good about Tapeball. First of all, it encourages straight bat playing,
Yeah.
and then it encourages clean hitting because it's all high octane.
Absolutely.
You're only going for your shots.
Yep.
If you see somebody play a defensive shot, it's because they misjudged the ball
Right.
and they altered their shot.
Yeah.
So it'll be rare, but basically it's attacking shots. But at the same time, you really are trying to score runs.
Yeah.
So it's not just swinging the bat wildly. And consequently, it does develop your skills
Right.
in a way that people might not think of it.
Teaches you to be aggressive, which is really hard to do for a consistent, 10 overs. To stay aggressive against bowling, and it changes the mindset. I've spoken to quite a lot of the players about that. I think that in this T20 type cricket, or really high stakes money cricket, this fast and furious cricket is training ground.
Well, if there's not a run out now, there's something wrong with me.
So that's 9 wickets down, Lloyd, right?
That is 9 wickets.
Yeah, that was quite the mix-up. Well, Houston would be one of the few teams that have had all their batsmen back in 10 overs.
I guess that's a positive.
Yeah. So we're actually getting a preview of the sort of cricket that would Los Angeles Olympics in 2028.
I don't agree with that statement. No, not at all.
10 overs. I think it's
No.
going to be 10 overs.
10 overs could
10 overs in regular cricket. Hardball is not cricket. And so let's let's
That's for 2030.
let's sort that out right now. 20 overs is fine for the Olympics. A 3 hour game is absolutely fine. I did 6 or 7 games in 2011 in American college cricket in 5 days. So they want me to run the Olympics for cricket. I will. Yeah. So I don't want to hear this anything about T10 or 100 or anything like that. It's T.
12 games that would live each day.
There aren't really 100 cricket playing countries. The ICC, it's smoke. It's smoke and mirrors. They if a country like Argentina has a team playing ICC tournaments, they say it's a cricket playing country. This time, nobody in the country knows about the team. You know? No, it's smoke and mirrors. So now, if you were to have an Olympics, those would not be teams you want to qualify. Right, they wouldn't qualify because they wouldn't have the depth to beat, have some. So let's say you have 50 countries that do have some. It's going to be hard to beat them. So, because you can't have 50, what you can do is have like soccer does. You have, knockouts 4, and you bring it down to a number like I'd say 20. I don't want it to be less than that because you want to give enough countries an opportunity to really broaden the appeal of the game. Anyway, let's get back to Wahab coming in and let's see if Wahab can take this final wicket. Well, not final wicket, there are 2 more wickets to go. But if he can take another wicket or even 2. So, yeah, if you come in like that and you get 24 teams in the Olympics, that's so easy to do. I mean, I could do that in my sleep. Drops that short. It's up in the air. That'll be a catch. Let's see. And it's taken. So, yes, this is thrilling here to see if SAS can take all 10 wickets. They've got 9 down. They've got 3 balls left to go. It has not been. I remember one team took 9 wickets. Yeah, I think 24 playing the Olympics would be great. But what a magnificent catch. And what a catch for it. The ball flew off the bat to the man at like a third slip position. He juggled it a bit, and that was it. So great ending there. Supreme effort by SCS in getting this win. And we saw, despite the fact that they didn't really compete against the total set up by Stars, it nevertheless was an exciting game because they did show us some flashes of hitting. And ultimately, those Supreme Stars bowlers did the job. Yes. So yeah, you can imagine somebody comes flying out of the dark, terrifying. Well, David, let's put it this way. Remember what you were like when you were 20s and let's say 30s? You would do it. As I would have, you know. Yeah. Yeah, when I was a boy, for instance, I wouldn't stop unless my mother and said we gotta come home. I would play from morning till night, and you didn't even get water. You were just playing. So yeah, join us back for the next game in a few minutes. David Sentence and Lloyd Judah.